Good morning, everyone. How are we doing this morning? Pippadot, Rydcar, Kitty Coo. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all doing well today. I got some, Kitty Coo. I got some. Some sleep. Yeah, I deleted the entire thing from YouTube and from the Google Cloud. This entire program, and I got lucky, extremely lucky, because every day I have so many thumbnails and pictures and stuff like that that I download from the internet. I do a daily cleanup of all of it because I mean it would fill up my hard drives, in a heartbeat. Well, I just happened to find the bat in another copy that I had saved, and work in progress. It wasn't completed with the last part of it, which is you'll see. But I was able to. I found that this morning. I was just like going through, my notes, what I could, I had written down on paper, and I was like, oh look, I have a copy of it. But I deleted everything from the cloud and everything from Google by mistake. But success. I was able to find it. Good morning, Gayla, Francie. Good morning. Welcome to this morning's Page 2 News. I hope you both had a terrific week. So, disaster averted. I was able to find it, and it still had a copy. So, the things that I do to myself just to make it a little bit more difficult. I think if it wasn't for the fact that I had saved it to my hard drive, because I was doing the last part of it, the fake news, fake or real news. If I wouldn't have saved that part of it, I would have lost it all, and we'd be just sitting here staring at me. So, give it another minute and 20 seconds or so here, and then we'll get this going. Wait for everybody to get their notifications and get in, jump on in. Good morning, Mel. I hope you had a terrific week. Thank you for joining us this morning. I don't know what the weather's like where you are. I hope you're able to stay warm and dry. I mean, crazy weather, everywhere. And we had snow, then we had blowing winds that blew the snow around, and then it all went away. It only lasted 4 days, but still cold here though. It's currently in the low 30s, but getting better. Supposed to be up into the 50s today. Hopefully. I hope it does. I could use a good day. All right, let's get this going. So this is the 244th episode of Page 2 News. Put myself in my little window here. Hello, Will in this little window. Hopefully that doesn't get in the way of anything that we have to do. Page 2 News highlights true crime stories that are often overlooked and underreported by mainstream media. These cases, while lacking sensational headlines, carry significant importance and profound impact within their communities. Each story that is featured here on Page 2 News is supported by at least 3 verified sources, ensuring the most accurate and reliable information. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy today's edition of Page 2 News. Want to give a shout out to the last week's supporters, people who made donations to this stream and this content, to helping keep this alive. Super chats were received from Half Rudder, Pippa Dot, and Gone Girl. And on PayPal, we had donations from Janelle and David. But thank you again. I don't have any affiliate links or any products to with false pretenses to pitch to you. So I appreciate each and every one of you who do support, with your eyes and with me, here in donating to keep this alive. Thank you very much. Condemned murderer may be the first person in 15 years to be executed by firing squad. A South Carolina inmate on death row has chosen to be executed by firing squad. Brad Sigmund execution is set for March 7th for the 2001 baseball bat beatings of his ex-girlfriend's parents in Greenville County, South Carolina. After David and Gladys Larkey Sigmund kidnapped his ex-girlfriend at gunpoint, although he shot her after she escaped his moving vehicle, she survived. If carried out, Sigmund will be the first person in South Carolina to be executed by firing squad after the state Supreme Court made it legal in July of 2024. Why did the South Carolina bring back the firing squad? The same reason that the state of Idaho and 4 additional states are currently going through court cases to bring back the firing squad, because they cannot obtain the sodium barbitol that is used as part of the lethal injection. The manufacturer the main manufacturer of it, I should say, will not supply states with the sodium barbitol to carry out executions. They will only supply it to medical facilities and not to for lethal injection. So states are scrambling to come up with another way to put to death their condemned inmates, either the gas chamber with nitrogen gas, which we saw last week that took place, or they're bringing back the firing squad or hanging. But again, those 4 other states are weighing either bringing back the firing squad or hanging as the option for a condemned inmate. A South Carolina trial court has previously issued an injunction preventing the state from carrying out executions by firing squad or electric chair in 2022, after it had been legalized in 2021. Sigmund will also be the first person to be executed by firing squad in the U.S. since Ronnie Gardner chose that method 15 years ago, June 17th of 2010. I believe Rodney Gardner was executed in the state of Arizona. According to the Death Penalty Information Center, the execution method involves a person being bound to a chair with a black hood placed over their head. Standing in an enclosure of 20 feet away, 5 shooters are aimed with the 30 caliber rifles loaded with single rounds. The organization states added that the shooter is given either a blank round or a live round. And thank you very much for the super chat, Dee Dee. And welcome to this morning's Page 2 News. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Friday, February 21st, was Sigmund's deadline to choose his execution methods, which could have been the lethal injection or the electric chair, which is the default issue in method. In the state of South Carolina, if you choose the electric chair, the state has 60 days from that period of time you choose the electric chair. So I have to explain this in more detail. In South Carolina, Texas, Arizona, and in California, if you choose the electric chair in those 4 states, you have to allow the state 60 days from that period of time before they can carry out the electric chair as the use of capital punishment to execute the inmate. Why 60 days? Because all 4 of those states are required to do a mandated check of security and operations of the actual electric chair. They flip the switch, they test it out to make sure there's no faults with it at all. And they must do more than one actual test. They are a series of 3 tests spread out over that 60-day period. It's actually not 60 days, it's closer to about 50 days. And then the executed is the 4th and final person, or test that is done. But in those 4 states, they all have to allow the electric chair to be tested. In Texas, they actively use the electric chair. So if they execute an inmate in the state of Texas using the electric chair, they can use it again the next day, don't have to use it, wait 60 days. They know it already actively works, so they don't have to wait that waiting period of 60 days. Oh, it worked. We got that one. We can do another one, because in the state of Texas, they don't mess around. If you are condemned to die, you're going to die in the state of Texas. They're not going to wait around for some people to file lawsuits to try to stay the execution. The only one that's going to stay your execution is the governor, and the governor and everyone that has been elected in recent history has all said, no, I'm not going to stay the execution. So that's a long shot that you're ever going to get that even from the governor in the state of Texas. His lawyers had initially asked for his execution date to be pushed back to give them time to look over the autopsy of Marion Bowman, who was executed by lethal injection on January 31st. They wanted to see if Bowman had been given 2 doses of phenobarbital. The Associated Press reported the delay requested was denied. A federal public defender and Sigmund's attorney said Sigmund chose execution by firing squad because he chose lethal injection. He risked the prolonged death suffered by all 3 of the men in South Carolina has executed since September. Allegedly that they had suffered that. That was his attorney, not what anyone else has been able to determine that anyone else suffered, but just them. That's their words. 3 men Brad knew and cared for who remained alive strapped to the gurney for more than 20 minutes. King allegedly saw the firing squad as his only choice. Brad has no illusions about what being shot will do to his body. He does not wish to inflict the pain on his family, the witnesses, or the execution team. King said, but given South Carolina's unnecessary and unconscious secrecy, Brad is chosen as best as he can. Sigmund will be executed at the Broad River Correctional Institution in Columbia, South Carolina, where he is being held. Bar any last minute appear, a spokesman for King told NBC News. So, what is your view on this? Do you think that Brad Sigmund should have the option to choose his method of death? I asked this as a polling question on YouTube and on Facebook and on X, but the X one has been taken down because, well, they have an issue with me asking about death penalties and executions on Twitter for some reason. X. I don't know why. They have a propensity for allowing Nazis to talk about anything they want, but they don't want you to talk about the death penalty. But what do you think? Do you think he should be able to choose his own method of death? Either electric chair, lethal injection, hanging, firing squad, gas chamber? Now, think about the family. Mel says, interesting how killers don't mind a bit that they cause the victims unnecessary pain. That's true. That's true. You know what? That when I was going to say that, something to that effect as well, Mel. That he didn't care about what he did. That day, beating his girlfriend's parents to death with a baseball bat. They suffered greatly through their deaths. Why do we have to worry about how he did it? I mean, he's fully, wholeheartedly confessed to 100% since the trial ended. He confessed to everything he did and why he did it and why he shot his girlfriend. Luckily, she survived. His ex-girlfriend. I make sure I say that. Good morning, Gemma. I hope you're finding some peace and solace this morning. Truly sorry about the passing of your grandfather. I could no way do the electric chair. All right. Serial killer corner. You will die to get away. News from around the world regarding the investigation into serial killings. Sauk County Sheriff's Office investigating a well-known serial killer as a potential suspect in a 1977 cold case. Sauk County is in the state of Wisconsin, in case you were wondering where Sauk County is. Sauk County, Wisconsin, as it says there. Detectives at the Sauk County Sheriff's Office and family members of a missing 18-year-old Robert Christian are seeking information about the disappearance in 1977. On Friday, September 16, 1977, Robert Christian left his home on the east side of Madison to meet a friend at the Barbaroo area. The two of them were planning to go bow hunting. Sauk County Detective Tyler Poynton said his friend Robert was meeting described him as a very punctual and always very early. Something I'm looking into is potentially matched to the killings of 1970s by John Wayne Gacy. Point said, Mr. Christian would have matched the general description of his victim, late teenage boy, young boys, or young men. Gacy was convicted of killing 33 young men and boys in the Chicago area. Point said there's reason to believe he was drawn to the Barbaroo area. There's also the connection of him, his interest in clowns, and the Circus World Museum being in Baraboo. He said there's a lot of history there with circus and the clown related memorabilia, such as one of those stones to leave unturned. In case you're wondering if John Wayne Gacy had ever been to the Sauk, area in Wisconsin, if he'd been to Madison, if he'd been to Baraboo area, yes. He had been there multiple times over the years, even though he lived in the Chicago area. He had work in that area that he did as a contractor, and he also visited the museums there. And he supposedly, and even if you toss out all of the possibilities of him committing crimes there, Gacy, in his interview with Robert Ressler, the former FBI agent, said that he had friends and acquaintances in that area as well, people that he liked to hang around with that were business associates of him. He didn't say anything about they were like-minded like himself, but I'm sure if he had any friends at all, John Wayne Gacy being, there were probably twisted individuals just like him. But yes, he definitely had been. The link there is to the entire article if you want to read more about it, the possible connection. It's a total of like 6 pages if you want to read about how Gacy had been to the area and how there's more of it than what I just skimmed over here for his connection to that area. Entertainment news. News stories from Hollywood, music, films, literature, and more, featuring the moments celebrities wished had never happened. These are the missteps and controversies they'd rather the world forget. But we're here to bring them to light for everyone to see and enjoy. Liam Payne's friends and workers at the hotel where he fell to his death have been cleared of all charges. In case you're not familiar with the Liam Payne, and the issue here is his friends who were there along with the hotel employees, they're not going to file criminal charges against any of them in this situation, and him falling to his death from the balcony. But at this point, they just are chalking it up as an accident. But you can read more about it on this is a short link, but you can also Google it as well. Fake or real news. Your task is to identify the real news story. I will present you with 3 stories, but only one of them is true. Choose either A, B, or C to determine which one is the real story. Again, A, B, or C. One of the 3 stories is real. The other 2 are completely fake. In case you've forgotten, each and every one of these stories has been shared a minimum of 100,000 times and has gotten over 10,000 likes. Story A. Walmart shoplifter is sentenced to stand in front of the store and greet people and hand them a dollar bill until he repays the $18,900 he stole from his former employer. This story was originally popped up on Facebook, of all places, because we all know everybody gets their news from Facebook. But the story, on Facebook is that he was a nighttime stalking, a person who puts like the merchandise on the shelves, stalker, I guess you would call it, not like someone who stalks another individual. But he supposedly made off with nothing but electronic items. He would load them out the back door into his pickup truck after his shift when the rest of the employees were going out the front door after they clocked out. He'd make his way to the back, open up the back doors, and load his truck. That's what this story is. Is this story real, or is this one the fake story? Story B. Walmart store in some states have been approved to start selling adult pleasure items, reversing a long-standing ban the company put in place in early 1980. Is this the real story, or is this the fake story? All you're looking for now is the real story, either story A, B, or C. And story C is Walmart shoplifters have been sentenced to wash cars in the Walmart parking lot when spring arrives as part of the restitution the court has handed down. There's got to be consequences for you breaking the law. Is this a real story, or is it story A, B, or C? Which one is real? And good morning, Callie, Lisa, and Mike Stevens. Good morning. I'll give you a few minutes to consider each story, whether real or deep fake. Has been shared online at least 100,000 times and has received a minimum of 10,000 likes or upvotes. Upvotes only come from Reddit. How can you determine which one is real? The real story. A, B, or C? Which one is the real story? Mike, it can be whatever you want it to be. It's categorized as an adult pleasure item, but you know it's C, huh? Francie says all three seem insane. And you can change your mind anytime you want. You can answer A, B, or C. Hedge your bet. You can answer D is the real story. They could all be fake. I don't know. You're the one that it needs to determine which one's the real story. Gemma is just listening. But don't forget, regardless of which one is the real story, 100,000 people have seen these stories, and over 10,000 people have clicked, taken the time to click on like on these stories. Every one of them, not just one of the stories, every one. Every week did I do this. That just let you kind of keep in mind. It's like these stories, and as we get into AI even farther and farther down the road, people are falling victim to these fake stories, and people are believing that they're real. All right, the real story this week is story number 3. That is C. C as in cat is the real story. There's the link there to the AP news article. A judge in Michigan has started handing down the sentence of making shoplifters from Walmart wash cars this spring for free. If you shoplift from Walmart, you must be held accountable. There must be consequences, as he said, for your crimes. So instead of just making them pay restitution and court costs and everything else, he is also sentencing these people to wash people's cars for free. They are not allowed to accept tips, nothing for what they're doing. And they must supply their own sponges, mop bucket, and they must wash these cars for free. So if you live in around the Michigan, in the state of Michigan, around the Detroit area, look for free car washes coming this spring in around that area at Walmart's. So far, he has handed this sentence down to 3 individuals, but doing a cursory search, AP News was able to find a total of 22 shoplifting cases that are upcoming here in the next couple of months from people who shoplifted at Walmart. Again, he's making them pay, restitution for replacing the items that they stole from Walmart. On top of that, the court costs, and they have to do jail time, and if they are a repeat offender, or they're being sentenced to wash cars. So there could be close to 30 people who have to show up and wash cars. Are they going to make them do it at multiple events? It looks like it, so far. But a free car wash, if you want one at Walmart in and around in the state of Michigan, look for it, near then. but C as in cat. All right. Again, I have no affiliate links or anything. If you wish to, support this, content in this channel, you can make a donation of any amount by clicking on the PayPal Me link. I truly appreciate it for everybody who does. All right, this Sunday, tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, is Trivia Night. This will be the 344th episode of Trivia Night, and it's about Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie. And the Trivia Night is called Control, Power, and Murder. We're going to look at the circumstances around the murder of Gabby Petito tomorrow night for trivia. If you enjoyed this show, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help. The algorithm suggests this content to more viewers, which in turn makes the entire experience more enjoyable for all. And thank you to each and every one of you who do. Give it a thumbs up. It's free to do that, and that's the least I can ask for. And that's it. Went a minute and 37 seconds longer than last week. My adult pleasure items is Stouffer's lasagna. I don't think I've had a Stouffer's lasagna in a while. I think the last frozen lasagna I had was, it's another company. I can picture the box, but I can't remember the name of the company though. I think it was like Swans. Yeah, like the people who make the home deliveries, in the yellow trucks. My mother-in-law orders them, every once in a while, food from the company. So I think that's the last time I had a frozen lasagna. Oh, thank you, Gemma. I appreciate that. Hard 48 hours for you and your family, and I really appreciate you. Thank you very much, sweetheart. I appreciate that. And I really do hope there's nothing that any of us are ever going to be able to say that's going to make it easier. But just know that we're here for you, sweetheart. That's all we can do at this time, is just sit and listen if you need to talk. Thank you, Callie Lisa. Join late, Will. So you fixed or found today's news. I was able to find a backup copy. So I had saved it. I had mistakenly deleted the entire page 2 news, the slides, all of it, and all of the notes that I had taken and putting into Word. And then I had saved it to, you have to kind of think about my mind. I have a million pieces of paper that are about this size right here, the scraps of paper that I write notes on. I take these pieces of paper and then I put them into Word or to Notepad, and then I make an actual slide of the actual notes themselves, and I try to condense it down, but make it somewhat, flow and understandable. So all those notes and then the slides and the entire presentation, I had mistakenly deleted it all because I had labeled it 243, and 243 episode was last week. So I had last week's episode of 243 and this week's episode 243, and I deleted them all from the cloud. Well, I had saved a copy of today's presentation when I was checking factually and to write more notes down on the fact or real news. So I saved that little tiny piece, and it was saved to my actual hard drive, not to the cloud. So now I don't have to go back and make the whole thing over again. I got lucky. We all got lucky, I guess, in that aspect. lots of chrome and little doors and latches. Those Schwann trucks are so cool. A beautiful, massive refrigerator on wheels. Yes. I used to order a lot from Schwann's too, particularly when my daughter was younger, and we were working full time, both of us outside of the home, and then between that and daycare and school and everything else, it was very convenient. But now we do, with the boxed, we do a company that does meal, you prep. They send you all the stuff to make the meals. We do. It's kind of like Hello Fresh, but it's another company called Dinnerly, and we do Dinnerly now. We did Hello Fresh meals for 3 years, about 2.5, 3 years, somewhere in there. Um, and then the quality of product that we were getting from Hello Fresh, the vegetables and fruit and whatever from it, kind of slid downhill pretty bad. And we got to the point where we were like, well, why are we doing this anymore? We can go to the grocery store and get fresher product than this. So we quit that one. And then we went to Dinnerly. One of the selling points for Dinnerly for these meals is you can customize it just like HelloFresh. How many days a week do you want meals? How many meals do you want? How many times do you want to be delivered? You can go every other week. You can skip weeks and all that other stuff. I don't have any promo codes or anything to give you guys for it, but but the when it comes to fruits and vegetables and meats that they have, they put a sticker on the box, and you can or you can go to their website, and they try to locally source or as close to you source all of the items. So the onions that we get in these meal kits are not coming from Florida, where the carbon footprint, to fly a stupid onion across the United States would be so much. They're going 20 miles away and resourcing them there, and they have distribution centers all across the United States where they're putting all these meal packages together. So that's why we go with Dinnerly now. But again, when my daughter was younger, we used to order from Schwann and have it home delivered, and then you just throw everything in the freezer. I have nothing against Schwann's at all. I mean, heck, we might order things from them again this summer because they have great ice creams and stuff like that, and desserts, pies, good stuff. You like to see my notebook count? I mean, like my actual physical notebooks that I have behind me? Oh, geez, Pippadot, I'm well over 70 because I only keep the ones that I'm actively using behind me. I have like the three stack metal filing cabinets that I have files in. So these are you can see them right here. I'm pointing behind me here with this arm. I'm pointing right here. Those are files. Those are actual files for cases that I'm actively working on. They're not just there for looks, but and then there's the notebooks that are behind me on the shelves. Those are the ones that I actively use. Plus, I got a million pieces of small paper like this. Like this was something that I was printing out a label for to ship, and I just tear up the paper and reuse it if it's a mistake. Sorry for coughing into the microphone there. So yesterday, on top of it all, of deleting all that stuff, I had a full day yesterday. I did all the brakes on my wife's car, replaced all the rotors, the shoes, the pads, the you know um, the cylinders on the rear because she's got shoes on the back and pads on the front. I think we finished up last night at like 7 o'clock. So there was no way for me to come in here last night and and remake it. I just sat here at 5 o'clock this morning. It was about 5:36 ish. Somewhere in there is when I found today's page two news. I just happened to stumble upon it while I was trying to like reconstruct as much as I could. I mean, but Pippa, HelloFresh may have gotten better. It just, for us, it just wasn't worth it anymore. The way that it was. Maybe it was just growing pains with the company because they were expanding and growing so fast. We don't know, and we weren't going to stick around to find out anymore. So that's when we switched to Dinnerly. And so far, we've been with Dinnerly for about a year, a little over a year and a half, somewhere in there. Um, and we've been happy as heck with Dinnerly. It's just, and it gives you the same thing. I should do a video about it. Yeah, and I'm obviously I won't be putting it on this channel. I'll be putting it on CDXI. If I do it, to compare the two of them, because each one of them comes with a recipe card and step-by-step instructions and pictures on how to do it. And then it generally has a lot less of a carbon footprint, than HelloFresh, and they're totally separate companies. Where HelloFresh, they keep on buying up all these other companies that do similar services, and they don't tell anybody that they own them. So you got. I mean, like Factor Meals. Factor is owned by HelloFresh, and Chef's Apron and a bunch of other ones are all owned by HelloFresh, where Dinnerly is a completely separate company. I like the daily notes and stuff. Yeah, yeah. None of those companies are going to reach out and want me to sponsor their content. Hey, we'd like to sponsor your content. Can you make a generally, a commercial, 30-second commercial pitch for us? They're never going to do that. I wouldn't be interested in doing it anyways. I mean, but it is a product that I use, and I would never actually do anything like that unless it was a product that I actually, use and that I support. I mean, I would definitely do it for Dinnerly if they ever reached out to me, but they're never going to. I am no one, as they say. I am no one and I will be no one. And I am happy with that. What do I use them for? I write notes down. Um, Pippadot, I say it as a joke, but I really I'm serious when I say this though. I am an analog man living in a digital world. Everything that I do, I write down, I take pen to paper and I write it all down. Everything that you see on my channel is done on purpose on all of my channels. Um, Taco Podcast, CDXI now. I mean, it 411. Everything is done and planned out as much as I can. I write it down in the notebooks, and if I'm not doing it in the notebook itself, I print out calendars like this. This one is blank, except for the one day. But I print out calendars and then I fill in each and every day of the month what I'm doing everything on. What is there a video that I have planned for that day? And what time of day I'm planning it? Why am I planning it that day? What search, SEO, search engine optimization, am I using for that? I mean, it's kind of mind-boggling when you think about it. It's not as simple as sitting down and just making a video or live stream like this. Not for me. And and I'll write down some of the notes. Like the other day, I was checking on fact checking. Factcheck.org, Snoops, CSI Library, UC Berkeley Library, for fact checking information. But I'm an analog man living in a digital world, and I write everything down. One of the last steps, in everything that I do is making it digital for the viewer. So, and that's what the notebooks and the files are. I request information, court transcripts, criminal convictions on people through the Freedom of Information Act, and I keep a copy of every single one in the facts in the file on each and every case. So I know, in the end of the day, when I lay my head down at night, I know that I have given everything I can on a case or a video that I've made, because I know what the facts are, and everybody can dispute them all they want in the comment section, or go full tilt on me like, why are you saying this? Why are you trying to profit from this? Whatever. And it's like, you can think whatever you want. I am nowhere near as greedy as the people who are in these other channels and what they're doing. So, do you refer back to past notebooks very much? Yes. Yes, I do, Francie. I'll give you an example. So this morning, I had a comment on a Christopher Watts video about Christopher Watts and his commissary. And the individual who made that comment uh, basically, was trying to shame me for making the video and airing out his dirty laundry. And why am I talking about his commissary? No one's interested in it. And I'm like, that's odd, because one of the most popular series that I have ever done on this channel and all the time I've been on YouTube is the commissary and what people these inmates are eating in prison. That's what one of the most popular that I've ever done is. But in that situation, when to answer back to if you look at the comment this person left as a whole, it was negative. But I feel like this person was trying to get to a point. They really had some curiosity into why am I doing it. So I got the notebook out that I have with my notes in it on that actual video and went through each and every one of the things. Okay, why are people interested in it? Why do they want to know what Christopher Watts is eating? Why do they want to know what he's getting on commissary? Why do they care if he's getting fat? Where is the interest in this? So actually, yes, I do a lot in that aspect to get out the notebooks, and I have the information. And each and every one of the notebooks, like I flip to a section on Christopher Watts, and then I reference it to the file number. It's either behind me or it's in the filing cabinets. I have two of them that where I can refer back to the actual paper document of, okay, this is his actual commissary list, a photocopy of it, of his purchases and stuff like that. I hate comments like that. Yeah. There are a lot of comments that I get that a lot of you do not see, and that's for a good reason. I have some very strong moderators and I have 3 people who have the ability to remove actual comments from videos. So they're not all my moderators are just like here in the live streams, keeping this, as respectful as we can. I have moderators who have given 100% control of my channel. I trust these 3 individuals with everything that I do. And that took a lot of years of these people being moderators and knowing them personally, not just like, I know them because of their names online. I know these people in person, but they're almost never in the comment sections of videos, or they do pop up in another window you guys don't see. It's called private chat. If there's ever an issue with somebody in the regular chat, they'll control that. And I if people have an opinion or they have a question, maybe it's a it they may have worded it in a negative way. Some people do that. They or I what I really hate is the ones that are all in caps. They're shouting at me about something. Those are the ones that get to me. But usually I let my moderators deal with it first. They see it and then they ask me, "Do you want me to delete this or do you want to reply to it?" So, and I like the people who may have a different opinion. I don't want everybody to agree with me, but you can't disagree against the facts of an actual case. You know, in a given month, I still get 20, 30 comments a month every month since Christopher Watts killed his family that say, 20 or 30 comments a month that say that his mistress helped him, load the bodies, Shanann into the vehicle, and he couldn't have done it by himself. Or they say that she was more involved and she helped him plan it. There's no facts to that at all. That Nicole Kissinger helped him in any fashion at all or knew what he was going to do. But these people, comment, every month. They get 20 or 30 of them every month. And that's just one video, or one series that I constantly get bombarded with messages about people who don't, and then they'll go, if you don't reply to them, if you don't delete or hide their comment, they'll go after other people who have commented, say, "Hey, thank you for the video," and then they'll comment and reply to that person. "This person is an SOB. He's a liar." And then you have to, you go that far, I'm blocking you from the comment section altogether. You had your choice. You could ask me a question. If you don't agree with me, I'm more than happy to carry on a conversation with you. But don't go after other people. I'm not going to sit back and watch that happen again. And thank you, something to talk about. FOIA request, yeah, is a Freedom of Information Act. That's the abbreviation for F, Freedom of Information Act, FOIA. And I'm running into a huge issue there, a huge issue. And I don't know how to address it other than just keep on beating on the door of different jurisdictions across the United States because of one messed up court opinion. There are a lot of jurisdictions out there that have completely shut down, and stopped replying to Freedom of Information Act requests because they believe that they don't have to share it with me or fulfill the request because they have deemed me a YouTuber and not a news source. And because of one messed up, court opinion, and they all keep on trying to recite, give that as a reason why. Oh, this court decision says we don't have to share it with you. It's insane. It's the insanity that I deal with every day. Oh my God, I hate it when a jerk comments on my comments. Yeah. Well, we try to control it, Kitty Q. We try. But, millions of people have access to watch YouTube videos and comment. But we try to manage as much as we can. But we're not 100% perfect and we can't catch them all. Managing modem on your channel? Yes, Gemma. Always. We try. And if I ever see anybody get out of control on your channel, if if I'm there, I'll surely do what I can. There's a lot of people out there that think that the moment that they type something and they hit that enter button, that there's no consequences for whatever they say. There are a lot of people out there, and particularly into today's society, especially here in America, if they believe you are of one political party over another political party, they want to do everything that they can. Now, I'm not saying everyone, but there is an awful lot. I mean, an awful lot of people out there that will do anything and everything to destroy you if they believe you are on one political agenda over another. And where that goalpost is, it's just constantly moving. You never know where that goalpost is. That's why I stay out of politics. I don't talk about politics ever. I might make fun of one individual, but I'm going to make fun of the other side just as much if I ever do. And that's the way it should be. But there are people who are diehard, right down one party lines, and they will do anything. Oh my God, that's remotely different from my view. I'm going to destroy you. You constantly get told you're not autistic and told to my lack of eye contact is false. There is a very good uh, 60 minutes um, video. 60 minutes here in the United States, the US, not Australia, not New Zealand or anything else, but 60 minutes US episode. It's about 32 minutes in length that goes over the symptoms of autism and why some on the spectrum don't make eye contact, like my son. My son is he will glance at you and then look away, and that's it. And where they've done brain mapping to try to determine why it is at certain levels on the spectrum that people don't make eye contact. And I like to explain it this way for my son. And I'm not saying this is true for you, Gemma, but this is for my son. When my son looks at someone's face, even for a split second, it's like he is taking like 10,000 snapshots of your face and your facial expression. And then he veers away, his eye contact, maybe down at the person's feet. Then he listens for the inflection of speech and tone and everything else, and then tries to determine friend or foe when he's meeting someone new, and that's really hard for him meeting new people. But that's how his mind is working. But and that's not for all, but that's for at least for my son. I like to describe it that way. It's not entirely like hey 10,000 photo. No, it's like he looks just long enough to remember your face and then looks away. But it's a snapshot because he gets overstimulated each and every time. And for Gemma, for you, for anybody who keeps on saying that that you're false or that you're not on the autism spectrum, just tell them to kick rocks. You live your life and you live your truth, and it doesn't matter what these people say. Again, they're just out there to cause stress and heartache to you and to others. And all you can do is just say no, and then shrug it off. I know that sounds easier than it is, but you have to find a way just to say, look, this person doesn't know me, and if you ever interacted with them in a personal setting, they wouldn't want to be your friend, and you wouldn't want to be their friend. So you just have to let it go and say, you can't help somebody who is ignorant. And there are people out there like that. I run into people all the time, online who, don't believe what I have to say or what I'm doing. They just think that they are absolutely right. They heard it one place, so therefore that must be the truth, even if it was a complete lie. So, and I'm truly sorry that anything like that happens to you, Gemma. Truly sorry about that. Yeah, if putting ourselves out there in front of this camera as much as we do, or even if you did it, if somebody did it a lot less, but putting yourself out there, in the view of the public like we do, you gotta grow, get thick skinned, because people, there's nothing that they want more than to see, or know that they got a reaction out of you and they upset you in some way or drove you away. Believe me, you know, um, idiot, armchair detective, his rabid fans would love nothing more to know that I just walked away from this every single day from the time that they knew that I existed. They would love to know that I just walked away. I gave up. I couldn't deal with it, with their hatred anymore. Not going to win though, because I'm going to do this regardless. Been through a lot here. I learned how to stop them. It took you 5 years, but you can do it now. Well, good for you, Broken Justice. It's hard though. It really is, and I don't have any way of like truly expressing, you know, um, from at least for myself, how it took me a long time. I knew right off the bat. One of the a great friend of mine who's a mentor who out there, I'll never put out their name, but who has been on YouTube and it has millions and millions of subscribers and viewers every single month. Told me right off the bat, you will never, or hardly ever hear from those who truly love and support your content that you're making. But you're always going to hear from those who hate you. The people who hate you are always going to say, "You suck. You're ugly. We don't like you. We don't believe you. We don't want this. Get off of this platform. This isn't for you. You're too old. You're too ugly. You're too dumb, or whatever." They're always going to comment, on your stuff. But those who enjoy your content are, they're not going to be there to say, "Hey, great video," or "Thank you for sharing that with me." Now I know more about that. They're not going to necessarily comment every time or give you that thumbs up, but you're going to always hear from those who hate you. And that has never, ever not been true. You have to be positive. Yes. I look at it this way. I'm just going to be me. And it took a long time, even again, and even knowing all that, what my friend told me beforehand, before I ever started this and got into this, before I got to this point, I knew the information, but trying to make yourself understand why people would do it is a whole nother story, and not let it affect you. But here today, gone tomorrow. YouTube doesn't care, even though they have policies in place that say that people can't stalk you off platform and harass you off platform or on the platform. Even though they have those policies in effect, they do almost nothing to actually stop it. It is awful as some of the things that people have said and done to me over the years. It ain't nothing compared to what I have seen. If you want to really read some negative comments and really see how people will go after each other, like and try to seriously physically and mentally harm someone else, go check out a lifestyle blog or makeup channel. those people are just vicious. And I don't want to get anywhere near that stuff. If I ever did, I'd turn the comment section off on everything. We'll hunt them down. Me and Duty Ron. Me, Duty Ron, and the rest of us. We'll hunt them down if they hurt you. What's for breakfast this morning, Francie? I don't know yet. I'll know here, shortly. I'm gonna wrap this up, but I don't know. Today is whatever the heck the family decides that they want me to make. So I don't know yet. My son will most likely have French toast, scrambled eggs, bacon. That's pretty much his normal with strawberries or apple or oranges slices. He's been really into a kick lately of mandarin oranges, though. I think that because they're sweeter. But he's been really into the mandarin oranges lately, as opposed to a regular orange. But maybe this morning he'll decide that he wants cold cereal with no milk. I don't know. But he really likes Cheerios with no milk. He just like to eat it, dry. Don't know. Don't know what the plans are for breakfast, Pippa Dot. I'll find out once I get in the house. Most of the family didn't go to bed until close to 10 o'clock last night, so I don't think they're awake yet. Ooh, Kitty is gonna make French toast. I make when I make the French toast, I make so for my son, I'll scramble 4 eggs, and then after I've completely beat the eggs, I'll take about 70% of it and put it in a separate bowl, leaving about 10%, 20% in there, just enough to make two slices. And I use Texas toast, but just before that, so that last 10 or 20% of the scrambled egg, I'll then add a little bit of cinnamon, just a tiny, tiny pinch of nutmeg, and a tiny, tiny little pinch of salt and to it. Mix it up again, and then I soak the Texas toast in that, and that's what I make the French toast on. And then he likes to we don't use table syrup. We use real maple syrup from real maple trees. Huh? Right. But he likes that. And then we'll put a little bit of that on the French toast, and then I cut them into French toast sticks, so they're easier for him to pick up because he likes to pick them up and eat them. We're still in that battle with him to use utensils all the time. He likes to eat things with his fingers as opposed to using a utensil. He can use utensils, spoons and forks and everything else, but it's that he wants to eat everything with his hands still a lot of times. But we're working on that. It's an ongoing battle. But and then the egg that I kept out, when I went to make the French toast, I'll cook that up, scrambled eggs, because he likes scrambled eggs. I use Texas toast and in my eggs and I put cinnamon and a little bit of vanilla creamer. I think that you told me that before, Kitty Q, about vanilla creamer. I might try that. I don't add any milk. Sometimes I do if I'm making more than just two slices, but otherwise it's just egg. And I soak the Texas toast in it so it gets in there. But I think you told me about the vanilla creamer before. I might try that one of these days. I mean, we never have creamer for like coffee creamer or anything like that around the house, unless Tim's in town. And that's a different story because he uses creamer in his coffee, and he's the only person I know that does. So, whenever he's coming into town, I always buy a bottle of the caramel macchiato creamer or vanilla. It's usually one of the two. So, and I've never thought about using it in French toast, but it does definitely sound good. Oops, sorry. Ooh. So I started off this morning's stream. It was 31 degrees this morning when I started. It is now 41 degrees. It's warmed up 10 degrees since I've been doing this in the last hour and a half. I kind of like that. Wish it would have been that warm yesterday when I was doing the brakes on my wife's car. And before anybody asks, yes. So to do the brakes on her car, this is not her normal car that she's got two. She's got her Traverse, which I can't touch because the whole damn car is underneath manufacturer warranty still. You can't do anything with it. You can't even change the fluids in that car. You can add windshield wiper fluid, and that's it. There's a giant plastic cover. You can't check the oil. You can't change the oil in that car. At least not at home, not easily. I mean, I probably could find a YouTube video on how to get to it. I couldn't even find the oil filter itself. I don't even know where it is on that car. But this is her other car that she uses just for commuting back and forth to work. This is the one that I did all the brakes on yesterday. But it didn't all need it. It definitely needed brake pads. I knew that though. I mean, when we bought that car for her to commute back and forth to work, it came with brand new brake shoes in the trunk of the car. So, I mean, obviously the previous owner knew that they needed to be replaced. It's just I never got around to it, but I did yesterday. And we love having you around here with us, Mel. I appreciate everyone being here. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pippadot. Again, tomorrow night is about Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie and the murder of Gabby Petito. There's a little bit of everything on the entire thing for tomorrow night's trivia. It's not just solely about her, but I am going to pay respect to Gabby, but just understand that the content that is on tomorrow night's trivia is not happy. And Reichardt, sorry, I did not pick a more happy subject. It was the next one in line that just happened to get finished. So I know it's not depressing as last week, like Summer Wells, but it's still tragic. But the next one, maybe. The next one after that is definitely, it looks like it's going to be another serial killer that we do trivia on after tomorrow. So, Secluded Works. Hi there, Seclusion Works. How are you doing today? I hope you have a great week ahead. I'm going to wrap things up, though. I'm sorry. I do have to get inside, and make breakfast this morning for my family. Gabby was a tragic case and awful. A case, the entire thing about Gabby Petito and what happened and what Brian Laundrie did can be summed up in this. It happens every single day, all across this nation and around the world. Men like Brian Laundrie are everywhere. If they raise their hand in anger towards their spouse, their significant other, be it another man or a woman, if they raise their hand in anger towards that person, they're going to do it again. There are clues to the entire situation they're right there in front of everyone. Statistics says if they lay their hand on you in actual physical violence, they have already broken that one last barrier. And it doesn't matter if they get all the therapy in the world or if they go and seek, Christian based counseling, whatever it may be, they're going to do it again. They've already crossed that barrier of not caring about the other individual's safety, space, or if they hurt them. And Brian, before he killed Gabby, you can bet your last dollar that there was clues along the way before they ever got in that van and traveled across the United States of him controlling the situation, the relationship, and he did things to her physically. But he's going to change. I love him. This plays out again around the world. And these abusers never stop. They may not kill, the spouse that they're with. It may not be them. Maybe they're just going to control everything about their lives and make them miserable. But it happens. And it's wrong. It's sad. It's really sad that you can't reach out and get enough information out to people. And there are people who are being abused right now today, right this minute, who are being abused or are afraid of the other spouse and walking on eggshells around them constantly. And it's wrong. And it's sad that it continues to happen in 2025. But hey, all you can do is, do the most you can, make sure that people have the information and let them know that there are resources out there. If they need to get out, they can get out. It may be the hardest thing that they ever do, but they can get out. But with that happy thing, I want to say thank you again to everyone who's been here this morning, for Page 2 News. And I hope that you have a terrific weekend. And if I don't see you tomorrow for trivia night, again, it's at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 o'clock Mountain, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. So you may be in Central or overseas or in Canada or wherever you might be. Judge accordingly based on those. All right. But everyone have a great week. So take care. Hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.